Hey there YouTube, just wanted to share my initial thoughts about these guys, which are the new Tentacle syncs. They've been out a little while, but they're new to me now, and I've just jumped over to them from another timecode solution. And I kind of wanted to make this video to talk a little bit about timecode and a little bit about some of the advances that have happened recently. So Tentacle have been around for a little while, and to be honest, I think that they basically changed the game with it when they came in. Before them, timecode was another one of those things that was kind of fairly crazy expensive, you know, really for what it is, and they totally changed the game with the price of it and the size of it. Now, these are the Tentacle syncs. This is a standard set that I've got, and I've just customized the two colors of the bands there. You can see these, they come with a load of multicolored bands. They have built in a little mic, and then they have a USB-C charging port, and then this headphone output here. Just want to really quickly run through the process with them though. Basically everything you do from your phone, and just talk a little bit about the ecosystem with them. So I have an 833 here, which I just have a timecode on the timecode out of the LEMO port. It's just going to the pin of this 3.5mm. So if I want to switch this one on and jam to, I just do a short press down here, and it will start flashing red. If I do a long press, it will eventually go green, and then it syncs itself to its own real-time clock inside it. So with that, it's now waiting for a timecode sync. So my timecode on my 833 is at 1823. So I will just plug this guy in. It's going to flash like that, and then it's going to start flashing green. So now this is jammed, and this one is just ready to go on the camera. And a lot of the times, that's really going to be as complicated as it gets. You're just going to plug in this 3.5mm cable here. You're going to stick this little guy on, plastic clip thing that they've made now. That means that no heavy-handed cameraman is going to knock out that cable. And they even give you a bunch of Velcro to Velcro onto the camera with. So that will Velcro somewhere onto the camera, and you plug in to the back of like an Arri Mini, or there's BNC options you can make yourself. I make all my own cables for this lot, and you're away. Great. Now if you want to kind of monitor how things are doing with that, there's no screen on there. That's why it's so small and it has such amazing battery life. So what you do is you jump onto their app here, and from this app, which let me just see if I can get my phone to do a slightly better job of reading it. Here we go. So from this app you'll see the blue that I just call them blue and green. The blue that we have switched on here, you can see it's jammed, it's got full signal, the battery life's good, and you get loads of information from that. You can choose the output level. This is all stuff you would kind of expect. Now the one thing that's cool about this is you can hit wireless master sync, and that will sync all other devices to this one. So if I just hit that now, I've got nothing else turned on at the minute, so that's just kind of doing nothing. But if I pick up another one of these guys and switch this one on, and this is super helpful because sometimes you might even be shooting and that someone comes and tells you, oh, we want to switch on another camera. It's like, okay, well, we need to get it jammed in, and before it'd be loads of messing around, you can kind of get this thing set up, get another one turned on, go into the blue here again, and we'll just choose wireless master sync again, sync all, and this little guy has then jammed with it, and it's now jammed with the blue one that was jammed to the 833. So this one's ready to go on a camera as well. Super cool. Now I wanted to talk a little bit more about, so like that as a timecode solution is kind of what one has come to expect. That's pretty great, and the readout that you get from here and the ability to be able to change things directly from your phone is just kind of amazing. Everyone carries one. It's just a great interface to work with, rather than a proprietary menu system that may or may not be working at the time. And I've experienced all kinds of other menu systems that basically don't work when you need them to. So then if you jump on to the rest of the ecosystem, you end up with things like the Tentacle recorder. Now This utilises the iPhone's own internal mic if you need it to, or if you want, and I just plug in like a Rode Smart Lav into the bottom of this guy, you then have got another lav that you can just kind of sync in with, and this guy will sync up to the same network as you've created from Bluetooth already. So I can just choose like blue, it'll synchronize to that, and now this iPhone is now in sync with this blue Tentacle, which is in sync with that. So all of this stuff is now all in sync together, and I can use this phone as like another lav if I was really in a pinch or whatever. So that's super cool. And adding onto their ecosystem even more is their new product, which is just kind of incredible, especially at the price, is this, the tentaclesync, and it's called the Tracke. You can see that on the back there. So this guy is basically a small wireless one-channel recorder, and it's kind of, I think, up to you how you're going to utilize it. Like in its basic form, they give you a decent lav, which is comparable with a Sennheiser lav that you get with a G3, G4, and you can just set yourself up. You can sync to the network that you have running already with these guys over Bluetooth, and you then get kind of frame perfectly synced audio on an extra person. So in that sense, it's just like another lav that can be recorded. Sure, it creates a slightly more convoluted situation if you're then, having say 4 channels on this guy on the 833 and you've got a 5th here and you just have to sync it up in post, but that's made so ludicrously simple these days, I can't see why that would ever be a problem. So it gives you another lav straight away for a pretty cheap price. It then crucially is something that I've found myself needing and using and wanting on so many documentary shoots where you will lose range and you cannot lose the recording that's going on. That might be the talent is going on a roller coaster, or the talent is going away from you and then coming back, and you just knowing that you have that second redundancy recording is incredible. So to jump into this guy kind of quickly, the exact operation of it, I would just really recommend diving into their manual and having a good old look at that. But yeah, you push it down, it sort of does this jazzy lights to and fro, and when this guy comes on, you'll then see you get a whole load. So I'll put this down for a second and have a look at this guy. So then you've got a whole load of stuff that comes up. You can see my voice is coming in now. And the feedback on that is like super real time. So they've got the latency down on that to some insanely small number. You can see this is just what's coming in recording wise. I'm not recording at the moment. You've got mic plug-in power, low cut filter, the gain that you're recording at. So if I just dial this guy up, then you can see, hey, we're overloading. So you can pedal it back so that you get to about peaks at 18, 12, something like that. And yeah, you can trigger recording from here, or you can trigger recording from the actual device itself. When it's in record mode, the lights on this are going to change. So there you go, it's red. We're recording now, it's flashing. And you also have the meters along here, which is just like super nice. It feels super premium as a product. And at the cost, it's kind of insane why anyone wouldn't buy one. I'm going to stop this recording. And obviously this guy, in terms of its sync, I'm going to want to sync it to the others, so I'm going to want to synchronize the devices, and I go back into blue, wireless master sync all, and that's everything synced up again. So now this syncee is now in the same network as these other guys, and that's going to be all synchronized to the other devices, the blue and the green, which might be on those cameras, so that can just be sent away. And at the end of the day, of course, you can just take out the micro SD card on the side here, and you can just download those files or hand them to the DIT or whoever and wrangle that stuff off. Now, you also have a headphone socket in the top here, which is on 3.5mm. So you can just kind of quickly monitor what's going on as it goes in there if you want to check on it. But I think that for me, checking the levels on here on my phone, just before I set it up, and then as I set it on Talent, I might just have them speak and just check that their levels are good, and yeah, then you're away. What I am really looking forward to using this guy for is creating a cable so that I can run the same, not this mic, but one of my COS 11 mics into my Wizzycom transmitter, and then create a bounce out cable that comes into this. So everything that's getting transmitted is also getting recorded locally on this. So then I get the benefits of being able to use Wizzycom's ecosystem and also have the internal recording ability as well. And the size and the weight of this thing I do not think is a problem to have on Talent in addition to the mic. And to have that kind of double redundancy makes me feel really confident that the batteries on one is not going to, if one fails you've kind of still got the other one basically, because the COS 11 will be running into both this and the transmitter at the same time. And if the batteries go on the Wizzycom, or if it gets trashed, or if something happens to it, as things do, then the recording is still going on here. And I like that, because for me, having the recording and the transmission go on the same box, whilst it does make things a bit neater, this actually is a way more sort of reliable redundancy. And for me, in documentary world, that's really what I want. This is also just like so insanely light that I think that if you're in a situation where you wanted to send it off, and I've done jobs, where we've been out in the mountains and stuff like that, then, sending people off with just this guy is a pretty good feeling, because it doesn't weigh anything. Like, you could perform sports with this on and not be bothered by it. It weighs nothing. Anyway, so those are my initial thoughts with it. On top of that, just like the whole Tentacle ecosystem just seems to be growing and growing. And the fact that, you're now able to, have things like a smart slate on your directly on your iPhone, and this kind of thing is just super cool. Being able to, the way that they're pushing their apps and stuff is great, and just seeing like this kind of implementation just means, well, of course you have an iPhone, that means you have a large readout that displays frame perfect timecode. Yeah, cool. Like, there's no need to have tons of kit now. So like taking a smart slate on a job where you might be traveling and you just don't have the room, but you want to bring a GoPro into the equation, then yeah, dead easy to do that. So those are my first thoughts about it. I'd love to see any questions that you have in the comment section, and I'll try doing my best to answer them. I'm going to make a less rambly, more concise video about the whole ecosystem, but just kind of wanted to get something out there as I just received it, and have to say, blown away, Tentacle, you have smashed it with this one. Cool.